Need to go in and play UNLV tough. They're a better football team than the Rebels, but you can never have a letdown, especially here in the PCAA.
Dave and I will be back in about 20 minutes with the kickoff of this game, UNLV versus San Jose State. But right now, let's go back to the studios and Tim Brando.
State, Ickey, and F.B. Pa'u'u lend plenty of assistance in the attacking 46 Spartan defense, which ranks 5th nationally against the run. Running the football is the strength of Nevada, Las Vegas, and in Ickey Woods, the Rebels have a 220-pound back blessed with open field ability. But when the Rebels go to the air, the main threat is senior George Thomas. At only 5'11", Thomas still stands tall among PCAA receivers and is a good threat for junior quarterback Richard Williams. A better target, at least size-wise, is 6'5", 230-pound tight end Cedric Davis. Tonight, we greet you live from the home of the defending PCAA champions, Spartan Stadium in San Jose, California. The Spartans at 6 and 7 host the 2 and 3 UNLV Rebels. Hello, everyone. I'm Greg Papa. Last week here on ESPN, we saw San Jose State move to the top of the PCAA conference with an emotional victory at Fresno State. This week, they try to pull way ahead at home against UNLV. Let me bring in my partner, former Cleveland Brown wide receiver Dave Logan. The Rebels have a good team. They're 2 and 3, and they have some offensive weaponry.
Well, they're going to need it against the 46 defense. UNLV does have some people that they can get to on the offensive side of the football. You can see George Thomas, the wide receiver, along with Ickey Woods, the running back. Thomas is an electrifying receiver, has made acrobatic catches all through the season. 9 catches against Nevada Reno. On the other side, Woods, a big, strong fullback, not only can run over you, but he can run around you with enough speed.
So they have the people, UNLV does, around the quarterback position to move the football, but the quarterback position has not played well.
Well, they have struggled, to say the least, with the quarterbacks. Richard Williams will start the game tonight. Scott Sims expected to see some action. Neither has distinguished himself this year, and you need that at the quarterback position. Somebody has to take charge and get it done. So far this year, neither guy has done it.
Defensively, UNLV employs a very unique formation. 2 down linemen, 4 linebackers, and at all times, Dave, 5 defensive backs.
Well, it's kind of a crazy defense. You can see to the arrows, both guys inside only with their hands down. Everybody else is in a stand-up position. They get 5 defensive backs on the field. They're best athletes. I think Wayne Nunley, the head coach, is simply trying to go with the best guys that he has. It's a defense that's good against the pass, and certainly San Jose State throws the football a lot.
Defensively, the Spartans go at the football a lot. That attacking 46 defense, the focal point, the great linebackers, Kidney and Pa'u'u. But last week, Claude Gilbert got some tremendous defensive line play in that win at Fresno State.
He had to be pleased with what he saw at Fresno. Got great pressure on the Fresno quarterback, Mike Hutcherson, the PCAA co-defensive player of the week with 3 sacks. They had 7 sacks as a team and pressured the Fresno quarterback. You can expect to see a lot of defensive pressure tonight because, as I said, the UNLV quarterback situation is really unsettled.
Offensively for San Jose State, theirs is not a quarterback. They have one of the nation's best, trying to rebound after a bad football game last week.
Mike Perez last week was 17 of 41. He is a much better quarterback than that. Interesting, he said this week that he didn't mind the statistics being poor last week. They won the football game they had to win. I would think that he will bounce back this week. He's a very good quarterback, the best on the West Coast, as I said last week, since John Elway.
Well, they have won 10 straight PCAA games. They've never lost in the conference with Mike Perez at quarterback. Here at Spartan Stadium, they have won 6 consecutive games. ESPN's presentation of college football is being brought to you by the makers of the CFA VCR College Bowl Game. By Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. And by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. We're back in San Jose with a kickoff in a moment. Back to San Jose, where the weather should not be a factor. Beautiful night, 66 degrees. Skies are partly cloudy. Winds are light. Always a chance of rain, but not much tonight. As UNLV takes on San Jose State here in the Pacific Coast Athletic Association. Head coach of the UNLV Rebels, 35 years of age, Wayne Nunley against Claude Gilbert at 55 years of age, as we see Gilbert's place kicker, Sergio Olivares, a senior out of Watsonville, California. He walked on last year and earned second team All-PCAA. Not a strong leg, He's at 6 of 10 of his field goals. Dropping back deep for the visitors, Las Vegas. Number 3 is George Thomas, 20.7 a return, and 42, Mike Reddick, 16th best in the nation. Olivares will be best suited to keep it away from him at 24.7 yards a return. Las Vegas, 1-1 of the PCAA. Last year went 3-4. San Jose State, 3-0 with the PCAA. Defending champs last year went 10-2, all the way to the Cal Bowl where they devoured Miami of Ohio. They want to go back again this year. We're underway. Olivares kicks off, and it is taken by George Thomas, number 3 at the goal line. At the 15, he's hemmed in and dropped short of the 20 at about the 18-yard line. First and 10. Quarterback Richard Williams, first start since week 2. The backs behind him, 2 big guys. Ickey Woods, 225. Tommy Jackson, 210. Receivers, George Thomas, the best. Mike Reddick, and maybe the best sophomore tight end in the country, Cedric Davis. Offensive line, big people. Bill Oprah, Mike Contreras, and Tom Sweeney. The tackles, Patrick Harden, maybe the best lineman they have, and Dustin Quinton is 6'6", 305 pounds. First and 10 at the 18 for UNLV. Back split behind Williams. They are Jackson and Ickey Woods. Handoff goes to Ickey Woods, and he'll pick up a couple before he's knocked down by that Spartan 46 defense. The line played great last year. Last week, I should say, Hutcherson had 3 quarterback sacks. Outside linebackers, Alexander Norman Brown has 4 quarterback sacks. The inside linebackers, the focal point of the Spartan defense, outstanding. Barry Kidney and Epi Pa'u, their top 2 tacklers. Defensive backs, quarterback Jay Taylor, a great cover guy. Phil Frash is tough on the run. The safety Ryan Rasnick, a hard hitter. And Greg Cox, the NFL scouts love him as a defensive back. Second and 6, Woods picked up 4 on first down. Here's the run by Richard Williams. And he has the first down at about the 29-yard line. Was that a design play, Dave, or did he just keep himself on the bootleg?
It looked like he kept it himself. UNLV, as you can see, lined up in the 2 set, simply couldn't get the ball to Woods and definitely was going to bootleg it all the way. It keeps the defense honest in a nice way to start the game. Wayne Nunley told us yesterday they would have to come out and establish the run. Of course, against San Jose State, that is a very, very big chore.
Richard Williams, junior, 6'1", 180-pounder, a junior college transfer. First and 10 from the Rebels 30. Lone setback is Woods behind. And they hand it off to Ickey Woods, and he is dropped behind the line of scrimmage by number 95, Mike Hutcherson. As he shot in there last week, they called him Hutch. He's from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Ickey Woods at 220 pounds leads the PCAA in rushing in yards per game at about 98. Not much running room there. And you certainly can't see blue jerseys on your face before you reach the line of scrimmage if you expect to be successful in running the football.
Tommy Jackson, Ickey Woods split behind Williams again. Second down, 13. Not the situation you want to be in against this 46 defense. They play it conservative, run Ickey Woods again. And he's going to work hard to make it to the line of scrimmage and maybe pick up a yard before he is dropped there by Barry Kidney, number 50, the leading tackler on the Spartans team.
Mike Hutcherson had a great game last week. Watch him get off the block. He will run down the line of scrimmage. Woods, with enough athletic ability that he can make people miss. Does a nice job right there, but the pursuit stops him for very little gain. When you're 220 pounds, most people think that you're a straight-ahead runner. Ickey Woods has enough athletic ability that not only, as I said, he can run over you, he can make you miss, and he can outrun you.
3 times this year he has rushed for better than 100 yards, including last week. Now we have a whistle. And a timeout has been called by a confused Richard Williams, the quarterback of the UNLV Rebels here, facing a 3rd down and long. He wanted to make sure he had the play before those Spartan 46 defenders had their ears pinned back and were coming after him. So we'll take a timeout here. 12:32 to play, first quarter.
King introduces
the Nevada Las Vegas cheerleaders that made the trip. Air trip. That's a long ride, about 10 hours to San Jose. They all flew down. Let's see if the Rebels fly here on 3rd down. They have not yet passed the ball. They need 12, though. Need almost the 40-yard line. Williams' first pass. Over the middle. It is caught. And a tough catch there by Tommy Jackson. Hit down by Barry Kidney. And Epi Pa'u, 6 yards short of the Rebel first down. So on 4th down, they are forced to punt. As Pa'u, who made 13 tackles last week, Kidney had 15. Put him down. Scott Wells drops back deep for the Spartans. 7.9 a return average, awaiting the kick here of Tony Rhines, 8th best kicker in the country, 44 a kick. That after an opening week when he had 2 blocks, but it was not his fault, they say. Rhines is waiting. He's a big guy, and he hits a good one. Drives Wells back to his 13th. Returnable, though. And he's out of the 24-yard line before he is knocked down. And there the Spartans will come at him first and 10 with Mike Perez, the quarterback. James Saxon, Kenny Jackson, the backs. Wide receivers, Guy Liggins, Perez's favorite. Kenny Roberts starting for the injured Johnny Johnson. Interior line play. Jim Carter at 240, Don Teague 252, and Doug McCreate only 232. And the tackles, Mike Bernard has started every game since the second week of 85. He's a fixture. Perez, big pitch, rolls right, under pressure. Looking for Klump, and he overthrows him. He had Klump if he would have made the pass. Tough one on the move there. 2 down linemen again. Doc Weiss, Ike Friedman for the Rebels. Outside linebackers, Adrian Harris and George Barone. Inside linebackers, Todd Cooks and Darnell Pickens, both seniors. Quarterbacks, Charles Dimbry gets most of the attention, but Anthony Drawhorn playing very well. Sean Blood in the middle there. And 2 more defensive backs. They play 5 DBs. Charles Anthony, a freshman, along with Otney Run. Second down and 10 for San Jose State. And they pitch it. This is Guy Liggins, near sideline. He has running room. He has the first down. He's out across the 40 to the 44-yard line. Well, Guy Liggins is Mike Perez's favorite target. First time we've seen him pitch him the ball, though.
Yeah, he's got incredible ability after he catches the football, so you might as well take advantage of his running ability by pitching him the football. UNLV sucked in, and Liggins found himself on the corner and alone. And again, he's big enough and strong enough. Most wide receivers will step out of bounds right there. Liggins may wish that he had. Liggins is 6'3" and over 200 pounds, breaks an inordinate amount of tackles.
Charles Dimbry finally shoved him out of bounds for Las Vegas. First and 10, 45-yard line. They hand off to James Saxon on a quick hitter with a fullback for a good gain. Gain of 6.
UNLV, as we've told you, with 2 down defensive linemen, everybody else is in a stand-up position. Sometimes that's great against the pass, but other times you're catching offensive blockers instead of attacking the offensive line. I'm sure San Jose State, judging from what they said yesterday, feels like they can run the football against this club.
Saxon gained 5 on first down. That's Donald Stewart, the fullback, behind Kenny Jackson. Jackson's first carry, first down to the 44 of UNLV. Last week against Fresno, the Spartans had a tough time running the ball. Mike Freeman finally made the tackle early in the ballgame. They're blowing these guys off the line, though.
Todd Cooks, number 37, considered the Rebels' best linebackers. He slides down the line, gets off the blocker, and actually gets in on the tackle. Cooks, an extremely quick linebacker, as this entire UNLV defense is. They've got great athletes at just about every position. They're not the biggest defense in the world, but very, very quick.
Again, Stewart stays in front of Kenny Jackson. They pitch to Jackson coming left. He's hemmed in and dropped down for middle gain as the abundance of secondary people, linebackers and DBs, stepped up to make the tackle against Mike Freeman. And also, Otney Wren out of Inglewood, California, senior, one of their 5 DBs, stepped up to put down Kenny Jackson. As we see number 2 in the ballgame now, Kenny Roberts, as it looks like the Spartans go to a multi-set here. Actually, there's 2 receivers in the game, McLeod and Roberts flank wide right. Jackson goes out. Saxon now flanks tailback. They play action to Saxon. On second and 10. Here's Saxon, the reception out across the 40. He can catch the ball, Dave, coming into the ballgame. 41, 9th in the nation.
That's one of the advantages of having a guy like James Saxon in the backfield. He's a lead blocker. He's a fullback. He'll simply slip past the line of scrimmage, get his head around. And when you have hands like that and you're a fullback, and I said this last week, I think Saxon has an excellent chance to be a very good player in the National Football League.
Sean Blunt, Anthony Drawhorn there to pull him down, 2 yards short of San Jose State's first down. This is their first third down of the ballgame. Perez will pass. He has great time. He fires wide open as Guy Liggins. 20. Inside the 20 to the 16-yard line. Well, they have all those defensive backs dropping back there, Dave, and Guy Liggins was not near any of them.
When you play zone defense, and that's what UNLV was in this time, you've got to get better pressure on the quarterback. Mike Perez had a lot of time to stand back and count the house, and a guy like Liggins that has great instincts will simply find the open hole. I mean, nobody gets around Perez. He is eyeing Liggins the entire way, smart receiver, and again, his running ability after the catch is well noted.
First and 10, they hand off up the middle to the fullback. And they move inside the 15-yard line. Carrying the ball there was Donald Stewart, number 34, a senior who does not carry it very often, only 8 carries before that play. An average of 4.2 a carry, 34-yard pickup. That'll bring up a second down and 7 as Stewart runs off the field. They bring in James Saxon.
You can tell early here that San Jose State, and in particular Mike Perez, they seem much, much more comfortable than they did early last week against Fresno. Now, playing in Fresno is not easy. They're playing at home in front of their crowd, and they look much better early.
Well, they've driven right down the field in the first series so far. See if they can punch it in here as Jackson sweeps right. And he's shoved out by Sean Blunt, their 5th defensive back. A senior out of San Fernando, California. Jackson sweeping right. That'll bring up a 3rd down for San Jose State. One of the most prolific offenses in the country. The Spartans are. They average 425.7 yards a game. That is 13th. And that man right there, Mike Perez, leads the 8th best passing offense, 294.7 a ball game. Mike Perez could be the first quarterback drafted if there is an NFL draft next spring. We're still have to deliberate that, right? Or litigate that, I should say. Perez to throw. 3rd down. He has a man. That's Kenny Roberts, number 2. He's out near the first down. I think he's short, though. We'll wait and see where they mark the football. He is short. Referee has the fist up, meaning 4th down. Darnell Pickens put him down. Sergio Olivares is jogging out. Claude Gilbert will not go on 4th down, but rather will bring Olivares in for about a 27-yard field goal attempt. He has hit a 20-yarder and a 26-yarder this year, and he's missed a 29-yarder. This distance overall, he did 6 of 10. It's on the far hash mark. He'll have to hook it back. It is up, and it is right down the middle. Flags down, though, on the kick. Now, if it is against UNLV Day, they could pick up a first down here. There's a 4th and 2.
And I think it will be, judging from the response of the San Jose State players.
Defensive holding against UNLV will give San Jose State an automatic first down here. Now, do you take points off the board? Yes, you do take points off the board to do this kind of offense, right?
Well, and you're so deep, it's going to give you a first down inside the 10-yard line.
Here's Tony Carenti. Defensive holding, Tony tells us.
And I tell you what that was, more times than not, the defense is taught to grab a player and pull him so somebody else can jump through that hole and try to block the kick. That's what was called, and certainly a costly mistake by UNLV.
There's Sergio Olivares. It just hit a field goal, but it is not going to count. Claude Gilbert takes the points off the board and goes forward on 1st and goal.
Take a look, and you can see in the right-hand bottom of the screen, number 4 comes through clean. That was because, and I couldn't see the number, one of the players simply grabbed a San Jose State player and yanked him aside. You can't do that.
And how often do you see defensive holding on a field goal attempt?
If it's that blatant, you're going to see it just about every time it's done.
Liggins goes in motion. 1st and goal. They pitch to Kenny Jackson, and he is in the end zone. Flag is down, though, on the run. Let's wait and see as Kenny Jackson goes into the end zone. Did not appear as though he had a lot of running room there.
I believe he got illegal motion against San Jose State. It certainly looked like somebody moved at the line of scrimmage.
Illegal procedure is the call. Legal motion against the Spartans. Spartans are the most penalized team in college football. 82 penalties coming in. 577 yards. By comparison, Wayne Nunley's team, 46 penalties, 394. That is a tremendous amount of penalties. Most of them are taken by the Spartans' very physical, attacking 46 defense. 1st and goal from the 10 now. Roberts moves in motion. Perez hands off to Kenny Roberts or Saxon. It appeared to be Kenny Roberts who ran the ball. Kenny Jackson, pardon me, who ran the ball. A short gain before Charles Anthony set him down.
Got to start thinking about opening up the attack. 2nd down. I would imagine that you'll see a pick play. They're so very proficient at scraping people off, especially when UNLV is forced into playing man-to-man. Liggins the best in terms of an underneath receiver.
There's play action. He's going to pass for the end zone. Saxon has it, and he's down. He fumbled the ball. He's down at the 1-yard line. Down just short of the plane of the goal line. James Saxon. Good open field tackle there by Charles Dimry, number 22. Saved the touchdown.
Scott Liggins, and you won't see him, but he ran off man-to-man the corner, and Saxon simply came underneath. And again, Saxon with the ability to catch the football.
That's a big play by Dimry, All-American candidate. Best defensive back on the field for the Rebels. And Saxon's not easy to bring down one-on-one. He prides himself in spinning off tackles and never going down by one guy. Here's a 3rd and goal. And Stewart in front of Jackson, who scores a touchdown. Kenny Jackson blows over from the 1. The touchdown maker here in San Jose. That is his 9th touchdown of the season and his 7th on the ground. Last 4 ball games, Dave, he's now scored 7 times.
It's up to the offensive line to establish that line of scrimmage. They run behind Don Teague and Doug McCreath on the right side, and Jackson will simply vault himself into the end zone. Good job by the offensive line. Excellent drive by San Jose State. The first time they've had the football tonight.
And they did it with a very good mix of the run and pass. That is the strength of the Spartans. They went 76 yards. Here's Olivares now for a point after. And it's good. Out of the hold of Mike Perez. Olivares nails it. 6:12 to play. 7-0 San Jose State.
High-performance luxury sedans.
Football on ESPN is being brought to you by Mazda. Bringing performance and value together. That's the Mazda way. And by Good News Plus with the Lubra Smooth Strip for extra smoothness and comfort only from Gillette. Greg Pop alongside Dave Logan looking at Sergio Olivares. Second kickoff of the ball game. And for the second time, it is George Thomas. The first time he will not come out. 1st and 10 Rebels at their 20. Following the touchdown by Kenny Jackson from 1 yard away.
Well, it's pretty easy to score when your offensive line does a great job. Watch him seal the right side. You see nothing but blue jerseys. And Jackson is able to get into the end zone. Again, a picture-perfect drive. 14 plays, 76 yards. And as you said, Greg, they mixed run and pass rather nicely.
What would you guess? Probably about 50-50 as far as run and pass. That was the Spartans' first offensive series of the ball game. Here's the Rebels' second with quarterback Richard Williams. Completion percentage low, interception total high, 8. He's only played 3 games, this being number 4. He hands off to Ickey Woods, and he picks up a couple. Ickey, by the way, is a nickname. His real name is Albert Woods. I guess when he was little, he thought his first name was Ickey.
Now you know why they call him Ickey. I wouldn't want to be called Albert.
Memphis State, who was riding high after 2 straight wins, loses to Lena Victor. Are actually heading to victory. Utah State by 5. Here's a PCAA team, Long Beach State, with San Diego State tied. And Long Beach State announced this week they're going to come back next year. The football program stays afloat. Here's a 2nd and 8. Williams will go down. The Spartan defense, that time, a blitzing outside linebacker, Chris Alexander.
UNLV doesn't want to be forced into throwing the football exclusively in this game, but when they do, they've got to get good blocking, not only from the line, but from the running backs. Ickey Woods allows Chris Alexander to run right past him, and I'll tell you, that's something that quarterbacks don't like to see, especially when a quarterback in his 4th game is looking for interception number 9. They've got to give him more time than that.
That's Alexander's 2nd sack of the year. There's a 3rd down and 13. Williams taking his time. Under pressure, throwing near sideline. It is out of bounds, intercepted out of bounds. Taken there by Phil Thrash on the coverage of Mike Reddick. Thrash covered that beautifully. Stride for stride with Reddick, who has very good deep speed. There's a flag down, apparently. Holding against UNLV. Claude Gilbert says, I do not want that penalty.
Well, what Wayne Nunley didn't want to have happen here early tonight.
Holding off.
First of all, is to get too many holding calls. Second of all, is to be forced into coming from behind. San Jose State has scored in their first possession, and the Rebel offense really has yet to get on track. And I'm sure that Coach Nunley will have something to say to that offense once they come over.
Tony Ryan looks kind of like Reggie Roby is built. He's a big guy for a punter, 6'1", 225-pound freshman. Scott Wells drops back deep. He's small at 5'10", 162 a junior. And Wells is standing standing at his 35. Should have good Spartan position again. There's a blast by Tony Ryan. Man, is it up there. 26-yard line. Wells coming back. 35. And he's at the 36 before he is dropped down. And we have 4:38 to play in the first quarter from San Jose.
Introducing.
Well, when your offense is struggling, you really need your kicking game to take over. Tony Ryan's will bust this punt. This is 57 yards by the young freshman. And you can kick yourself out of trouble. You can hit them like that, especially when your offense, as I've said, they have struggled so far.
Scott Wells brought it back 10 yards, though. Still a pretty strong net, 47 yards. First and 10, San Jose. At their 36, Liggins moves in motion. Perez hands off up the middle to Kenny Jackson. Salback picks up a few. Last year, Jackson, fifth player in NCAA history to rush for over 1,000 yards and catch 50 passes. He is having a good year on the ground again at 515, but they're not passing as much to him, but rather the man who's jogging on the field at number 20, James Saxon.
Reminds the coaching staff here of another player that has gone on to bigger and better things in the National Football League, Gerald Wilhite, an exceptional receiver with the Denver Broncos as well as the running back.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Perez throws. Off the tight end is wide open. Breaks a tackle. Inside the 35 and fumbles the ball. But I believe he was down. Either way, the Spartans recovered the fumble. They will keep the football. That is twice in the ball game now. Bill Klump has broken wide over the middle, Dave. First time, Perez overthrew him, but not this time.
If you're going to play this kind of defense, and they are playing the corners up, the safeties have halves, you've got to slow up the tight end at the line of scrimmage. Klump came off virtually untouched. You can see the safety is late getting there. And UNLV right now is having a pretty tough time deciding what they want to stop. So far, they haven't stopped either the run or the pass.
That play went for 29 yards before Ottney ran it, made the tackle. Here's the handoff to James Saxon inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. We have 3.5 to play in the first quarter. A first quarter dominated by San Jose State. Ottney ran again on the tackle.
So very easy for a quarterback when you can line up and get 4 and 5 and 6 yards of crack running the football, and then you slip a receiver into the seam and get him wide open. It's also easy for the head coach who calls plays, Claude Gilbert. It really gives you the luxury of doing just about anything you want.
Law down with his fourth year here at San Jose State. Perez has the ball in the option. Look at him break the tackle. And now he makes the pitch to Kenny Jackson. How about that? Mike Perez, flag is down on the run there by Jackson. Mike Perez, the classic drop-back quarterback, Dave, running the option. It's coming back, though. Holding is called against San Jose State.
Wow, it's a great play by a big play quarterback. Let's see if we can see number 67, Jim Carter, as he pulls. Now, Perez will stiff arm right there. Carter, you see him right there, actually tackles number 55, Darnell Pickens. Doesn't take away from the beauty of the option. That's a quarterback making a play that most people feel like is a prototype drop-back passer. He show right there that he certainly can run a little bit as well.
And he's strong. We talked about it last week, what he does in the weight room. Benches his own weight 210 18 times, can bench press 350 pounds.
That's a fun.
He's got it all. Now 2nd and 13. Perez going up top. A man is wide open. It is caught. No, it is out of bounds. No catch, they say. Scott Wells could not bring it down. Wells, who runs back the punch you've been seeing earlier, playing tonight because Johnny Johnson is banged up with a bad ankle. If he keeps his feet in bounds here, Dave, he has 6.
Well, they ran the out and up to the short side of the field. More times than not, you won't do it. You can see a blown coverage. Wells, with the right foot on the line, a very good call. Tough to run that play unless you run it to the wide side of the field. You've got to give that option man a chance to turn up the field and have some yardage.
Now here's a 3rd and 13 for Perez. Again, Liggins moves in motion near sideline. Right back to pass. He's flushed. He has Jackson. And Jackson goes down. Good open field tackle again by Ottney Red, who has made a number of tackles. He is tied for their team lead with 41 total tackles, Red. Also, Darnell Pickens, number 55, helped out. And the Spartan drive is stalled out, aided by that holding penalty. Kenny Jackson and his mates jogs off the field. And we'll see a lengthy field goal here. Wayne Nunley is pleased as defense held there, forcing Oliveras into a 52-yard attempt. He has not made one from 50 and beyond. He has tried a 52-yarder and missed it earlier this year. And I believe he's going to miss one again. This one's going to be well short, about 7 yards short. So the Spartans drive again, but don't cash in. 2:13 to play, first quarter, 7-0 San Jose. Back to San Jose, California, Spartan Stadium, where San Jose State has won 6 consecutive times. The last 16, they've won 12, lost 3, and tied 1. And still, they don't draw very well here. An average of about 15,500. Not like the Red Wave in Fresno.
Well, they were wild last week, weren't they?
They were, but in defense of the Spartans, there was so much more competition up here near the Bay Area. Professionally, here is a flare out to the tight end, Cedric Davis. Nice catch and run by the big guy, Davis, before Kidney shoves him out of bounds. The first completed pass of the ball game by Richard Williams, and he picked out a very talented sophomore tight end, Dave.
When you move your tight end out and you force a linebacker to try to cover him, especially when you get a tight end like Cedric Davis, it is a mismatch. Davis is 6'5" and 230 pounds, and 4'6", 4'7" in the 40 is a big, strong target with very good hands, and they will try to take advantage of that matchup with Barry Kidney on Davis all night long.
14-yard pickup onto the 49-yard line of the Rebels. Lone setback is Ickey Williams to throw, and he has a man complete. That's George Thomas making the catch, and Greg Cox showed him the out of bounds. Rudely. Thomas is small, 5'11", 164. As we see Cox, what a hitter he is.
He looks like a hitter.
Sometimes he gets a little bit too much. In practice this week, Claude Gilbert had to call him off because he was hitting guys late, and even in practice he goes at it. Very, very intense football player.
I'm wondering if Earl Bruce is now trying to figure out how this kid ever got out of Columbus, Ohio. More times than not many do.
That's a good point. He went to Hartnell College and then transferred here to San Jose State, a late find, a late bloomer. 2nd and 5 for UNLV. Williams to pass over the middle. It is caught. What a nice diving catch. No catch. No catch. George Thomas could not pull that down, they say, as he went after that football. He is known for his speed at 4'4" in the 40, Davis. It's a pretty good athletic move.
Richard Williams doesn't have a great arm. Watch him set up a quick drop, 5 steps. Actually, pretty good mechanics. You can see right here, Thomas lays out, almost comes up with a sensational catch. When you're a young quarterback and you're struggling during the course of the season, you want every pass caught. Williams right there watching as George Thomas almost comes up with a great one.
3rd down. UNLV has come up empty their first 3rd downs. There's a pass. Oh, Cedric Davis almost made a one-hand catch, but he could not do it. Ryan Rasnick, who they call Little Boz here. Little Brian Bosworth, also a tremendous hitter, knocked Davis loose from the football. So Wayne Nunley's offense stalls out.
Pretty good protection as San Jose State blitzes both inside linebackers. And this pass, you can see quarterback trying to get down and protect himself. Richard Williams has learned a couple of things this year. Number 1, you can't win when you throw 8 interceptions in 3 games. Number 2, after you throw it, protect yourself.
Tony Rhines to punt. You saw the numbers, outstanding. 8th best coming into the ball game, 44 yards to kick. And Scott Wells not bad himself. A faker. He's going to run with it either way. He needs the 40-yard line. He's short. Hutcherson made him run wide. And then Norman Brown, 66, and also Pa'u'u was there to knock him down. Was that a fake punt, or was that something wrong with the snap, Dave?
It was definitely a fake. Rhines will take 1 step as if to kick the football, and he's off. And actually, had Rhines ducked back inside right here, had a pretty good chance to make the 1st down. He's running with the loaf of bread, and a gamble by Wayne Nunley, who felt like maybe he might have to take a chance or two early in this game.
Here's Kenny Jackson on 1st down for San Jose State. Left side for a couple. Not a bad gamble by Nunley, considering where they were on the football field. Certainly the way Rhines had been punting, he could have probably put the ball inside the 10, but that's a good spot to take a gamble when your team is struggling.
Well, Wayne Nunley doesn't feel like they can move the football up and down the field on San Jose State defensively. And once you get inside the 50, you've got to be able to take chances like that. You have to have the ability to make that kind of decision.
Perez off play action, rolls right. He's going deep. And it is caught by Willie McLeod at the 19-yard line. McLeod was Guy Liggins' teammate in junior college there. Looked like Guy Liggins here.
Pretty good protection up front by San Jose State. Designed rollout to buy Perez time. You can see Teague doing a nice job blocking right there. And Perez simply airs this one out. And McLeod will stop and come back for the football. Although I think we're going to have this one called back due to holding. Great catch by McLeod. And when you have good receivers, you know, as a quarterback, you simply, even if they're covered,
illegal receiver downfield against the offense. Repeat, 2nd down.
Not a hold, but a legal man downfield. One of the line people went downfield. Again, we told you before, the Spartans lead the nation. They've had a couple of costly penalties
Well, that's big.
early in the ball game.
You better be a lot better than your opposition if you have that many penalties.
58 seconds to play in the first quarter. Perez on 2nd and 13. Boy, he has all day to throw. Run whatever he likes. Behind Saxon, who makes a great catch up the near sideline and inside the 30 of UNLV. Well, the two down linemen that the Rebels employ are just not getting any pass rush on Mike Perez. And when you give a guy of that talent, that kind of arm, that kind of time, he's going to pick you apart.
Pretty tough to get to Perez when you're holding in 6 guys to block, and that time the Rebels trying to rush 3. They're getting knocked around like pinballs. And Perez has enough moxie and composure that he can make something happen when it seemed like that play would go for nil.
31 yards on the catch and run to Saxon. 1st and 10 at the 29 of UNLV. They pitch to Jackson, near sideline, inside the 25. And he's front of the bounds and throws a cleat in the face of George Verone. And Verone went back at him after the play there. Also Ken Tucker over to help out.
You can see what makes this play. Watch Kenny Jackson as he dips inside just as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Right there. Freezes the outside contain and gives Donald Stewart a chance to block for him. And Jackson is a tough customer. Once he turns that corner, has enough speed that he can make you miss.
Jackson 515 yards on the year. 101 attempts, 5.1 a carry. And he picked up just about that on his first down carry there. Perez hands off up the middle. And this is a short gain. Again to Kenny Jackson. And he is set down by Todd Cooks. And also Ike Freeman in on the tackle as the first quarter time clock is winding down. 7 seconds to play. All San Jose State, but only up by 7. They could be up by more. But that's all they have after the first 15 from Spartan Stadium in San Jose. San Jose State has scored once. Kenny Jackson from 1 yard out, but they're on the verge of number 2. They face a big 3rd down and 5 here at the UNLV 24. Perez play action. Watch the option again. Keeps it. 20. And I believe he has the first down. Yes, he does at the 17-yard line of UNLV. Mike Perez having a sensational early game here, Dave. 7 of 9 early, 100 yards in the air. And the Spartans have also run for better than 60 yards on the ground.
Well, we figured him to come back, and it's nice when your offensive line is dominating the line of scrimmage. Perez, not the niftiest guy in the world, but certainly knows where that first down marker is. And when you have a quarterback that can throw like he does, and then he can run a little bit, boy, that's a big problem defensively.
1st and 10, lone setback. Jackson takes the pitch, stumbling, keeps his feet, and he's down to about the 12 for a good game. It appeared he wasn't going to get much, but still he did it. Let me talk to you about the option. Now, we haven't seen San Jose State run that at all, at least the first couple of weeks of the season. Are they running it to combat the 2 down lineman spread of UNLV?
Well, I think it's certainly clear that Claude Gilbert's troops felt like they could run the football against UNLV. And again, when you run the option and you get outside, when you have that kind of team speed, it puts a lot of pressure on the defense. UNLV's got to decide what they want to do, either stop the run or try to stop the pass, but they're doing neither right now.
They're not kidding. There's a handoff to James Saxon. Breaks the tackle inside the 5 and down to the 3. Todd Cooks, right inside linebacker, finally brings him down. San Jose State has about 180 yards total offense. UNLV just 36.
James Saxon will come right at you, and he's strong enough that he breaks arm tackles. And you can see not many folks with white jerseys around until he's 6 or 7 yards deep into the secondary. Much too easy for San Jose State right now up front.
Donald Stewart again, fullback in front of Kenny Jackson. They pitch to Jackson off of Stewart. Blocked. He's down close, but not in. Down to about the 1-foot line.
Donald Stewart, the best blocker, number 34. Kenny Jackson, after getting in the end zone, Stewart kicks out, and Jackson with the head down. Now that's wanting to get to the goal line. He is met right there and will be stopped about a yard short. But Kenny Jackson, not the biggest guy in the world, but a very tough runner. Claude Gilbert told us last week that Jackson may be the toughest runner between the tackles that he has.
He's 6 foot, 200 pounds, 11 carries in the ballgame, early 26 yards. And here's James Saxon. And he did not get into the end zone from 1 yard away, bringing up a 3rd down. Claude Gilbert has run each back on the first two. Let's see what he does here on third as he brings in Kenny Roberts with the play. Tackle made by Todd Cooks.
That's the only way to play defense if you're UNLV. You've got to sell out. They blitzed everybody. They closed every gap, jumped over the top. Of course, if you have a play-action pass call on that particular defense, you score easily, but they just had to sell out, and they, on that play, got it done.
3 backs behind Perez. And they hand off to Saxon. And did he get in? No, he did not get in. UNLV defense forces a 4th down.
Actually lined up in the robust tee a little bit, looking like the wishbone, and you'll see power football off the left side. Saxon is stopped, and had Mike Perez kept the football, he would have walked in. You can see Perez right there handing the football off to Saxon. Actually looks like he scored, but he didn't. The San Jose State coaches bias in the box. They said he did score.
Here's Kenny Jackson. Did he get in? He is right on the line. The officials do not say he got in. Apparently, UNLV holds. They're pointing. Everybody's pointing. They're waiting to unpile. Touchdown!
Well, that makes both coaches a bit antsy when it takes that long to make a decision. And I mean to tell you, the coaches next door are coming through the glass. They said he scored earlier. Let's see if he gets in. Jackson inside. Clearly, it looks like half of his body is actually over the goal line. I'm not sure as to why it took so long to make a decision. Kenny Jackson, you will see, and you were on the goal line right there. He's to his waist with the football being over the goal line. I don't know why it took so long.
I have no idea. I've never seen on a touchdown call, sometimes on the spot of the ball for a first down, you'll see him wait, but never on a touchdown like that. Here's Olivares for his 2nd point after trying. Made his first, and he makes his 2nd. Touchdown for the Spartans. They lead 14-0, 11:50 to play, first half.
Introducing a family sedan.
PCAA football game is being brought to you by Mazda, bringing performance and value together. That's the Mazda way. And by Yashica. They put a new focus on photography with the new 230 AF Auto Focus. The Spartans are putting into focus possibly their 2nd straight PCAA championship. Fresno State lost today to Pacific. And Olivares drives them to the end of the end zone. George Thomas, 9 yards deep, says, I'm staying put. Scoring drive capped off by Jackson's 2nd touchdown of the ball game. 57-yard drive following the fake punt attempt. Run after the fake punt there. They could not pick it up as we see Jackson twice in the end zone tonight.
It's not time to panic offensively for the Rebels, but certainly time to be concerned. If you're Wayne Nunley, and he didn't want to get behind in this game to the point that he had to throw the football exclusively. He simply doesn't have the quarterback to get it done. But they've got to come up with some way to move the ball and to keep that San Jose State offense off the field.
George Thomas and Mike Reddick on your sideline. Ickey Woods, the lone setback. They play Tommy Jackson or slot. Here's a pass by Williams, complete to George Thomas. Turns it up and out of bounds at the 28-yard line as we look at some of the action from college football today. Tulane has a final.
Defensive struggle.
Look at that. Long Beach State giving San Diego State trouble. Todd Santos, great quarterback there. New Mexico State wins. Idaho State by a field goal in the 4th quarter over Boise State. Idaho by a touch in the 3rd. Gain of 8 by George Thomas, 2nd and 2. They have 4 wide receivers. Ickey Woods, the lone back. They won the pitch to Woods. He has running room. 40. And he's spilled down by Ryan Rasnick as he was over the 40-yard line. Now, Dave, talking to the San Jose State coaches, they said when they bring in a lot of different looks, they expand the playbook.
Well, UNLV wanted to spread the defense. They had trips to the right side, and San Jose State simply, you can see right there, as Norman Brown puts the quarterback down, but they were outflanked. Ickey Woods catches the football, and I mean to tell you, there is nobody out here except the 225-pound fullback. San Jose State has got to adjust to the free wide receiver set, and they haven't done it the last couple of plays.
And they're also putting their tight end wide. They have 4 receivers in. Williams throws. It is intercepted. Ryan Rasnick right in his arms. 40, 35, 33-yard line. That was a bad pass. He threw the ball right to Ryan Rasnick.
Well, Richard Williams is going to get credit for a bad throw. Actually, this is Scott Sims in the game. But Tommy Jackson, you'll see the receiver simply doesn't come in. If Jackson, number 33, will come in a little bit, as Sims anticipated, they've got a completion right there. Rasnick makes a nice catch and positive yardage on the return, but quarterbacks always take the blame for bad throws. In that case, Tommy Jackson didn't run the route properly.
That was Scott Sims, the quarterback, as Dave said. Here's Mike Perez, the Spartan quarterback, throwing complete to Guy Liggins, 16-yard line of Nevada, Las Vegas. Tackle made down there by Sean Blunt, number 31, after Guy Liggins made the catch. Liggins caught 80 passes last year, and this year already has 46.
And you can see why. Mike Perez looks to Guy Liggins just about every time he throws the football. And why not? You've got a kid that catches everything that's near him.
First and 10, 16-yard line pitch. Kenny Jackson, left. Across the 15, across the 10, and down to the 7-yard line. Anthony Drawhorn makes the tackle, along with Ken Tucker, both defensive backs.
No, he told you Guy Liggins had 80 catches last year. What does he do when he doesn't catch the football? Liggins big enough, and that's an excellent block. Gets in the way of number 4, Anthony Drawhorn. That's all you can ask for a wide receiver. You don't expect those guys to knock anybody down. They call it chicken blocking. Just get in the way and make sure your guy doesn't make the tackle.
Yeah, but you were a pretty good blocker, weren't you?
I was an average blocker.
Okay, here's Mike Perez. Throwing, and it is caught for a touchdown by Guy Liggins. As he beat Sean Blunt. And the Spartans are making this look all too easy.
You really have problems when Liggins gets in the slot and you don't bracket him. You don't play him inside and out. In this case, Sean Blunt as Liggins man-to-man. Just a quick down and out. You can see Blunt a couple of steps behind. And when you're the kind of receiver that is looked to almost all the time, when you're one-on-one, it's trouble for the defense.
Sergio Olivares on for his 3rd point after the ball game. And he's got number 3. And the Spartans are rolling it up. 21-0 with 10:03 to play, first half. Guy Liggins, 8 yards out. His 6th touchdown reception of the ball game. He's going to be a good NFL player also. Tremendous skills. Sergio Olivares will kick off. He's been doing that all game long. His offensive team has scored 21 points. And we have not even played 20 minutes yet of this football game. Again, George Thomas and Mike Reddick drop back deep. Last 2, Olivares has kicked in the end zone for no returns. This one's going to be also in the end zone, but they're coming out. George Thomas is. The 10, the 15, he has a hole. 20, 25, 30, 35. And he's out to the 42-yard line before Norman Brown brings him down. And that is a big play for UNLV. They need something encouraging to look at, Dave.
Well, George Thomas is the guy that can get it done. I think everybody, including San Jose State, thought he would stay in the end zone. 4-4 in the 40. You talk about guys that will make pretty good players in the National Football League. This young man, I think, will be one. He actually runs right past his blockers.
Yeah.
But that's maybe what they need to get that offense on track.
Richard Williams is back in at quarterback. Sims was in for one play, and he wishes now would never happen. He threw the ball right to the arms of Rasnick. Here's Williams. He has a man out there. Caught by George Thomas. He's fast. 15, 10. He outruns Jay Taylor for a touchdown. What a sensational play there. 58 yards. And the Rebels are off their backs and back in the football game.
I mean to tell you, this is fast on fast. Richard Williams will recognize the man-to-man defense at the line of scrimmage. 3-step drop. You can see him right there. And he'll get this ball quickly to the receiver. Jay Taylor has great speed. Doesn't get a hand on Thomas. And you can see right there, this is a foot race. Now, keep in mind, number 7 has run the 100 meters in 10-4, and he is not closing on George Thomas.
You know, George Thomas's nickname is Heat because he leaves defensive backs in a cloud of smoke. And Jay Taylor, eyes are cheering right now. Point after touchdown is up by Jim Cook. And good, a sensational play there by UNLV. They're back in the football game. Richard Williams, 58 yards.
We're not a company, but we recognize potential. We develop it. We use it.
Let me tell you, George Thomas has got to be tired there, number 3. Took the kickoff about 3 yards deep in the end zone, returned that to the 42-yard line. First play from scrimmage, Dave, they pop it to him, 58 yards. He goes 103 yards in about 15 seconds.
We're going to have a chance to watch the play after the kickoff, but I mean to tell you, folks, George Thomas is fast.
Yeah, we have a football game again, 21-7, San Jose State, 9:47 to play in the half. Here's Jim Cook, Jr. out of Las Vegas to kick off. His first kick of the ball game. It's very short. Oh, my, this one's taken at about the 20-yard line. We have flags all over the field here. Donald Stewart returned that ball.
Here's a replay.
Again, Dave.
Jay Taylor was in man-to-man coverage, blitz coverage, and you can see Thomas just blows by him, and now it's a foot race. And again, Jay Taylor has great speed of his own. He is not closing on George Thomas. When you're in blitz coverage as a defensive back, you know that you've got nobody inside to help you and nobody deep, so you've got to try to get a hand on that receiver when he comes off the line of scrimmage. Jay Taylor did not do it.
I'm not sure we should call that a drive. We'll call it an explosion. 58 yards. Williams to Thomas. Took him 16 seconds to cover it. The penalty on the return there is delay of game against San Jose State, and I'm bewildered.
Well, he waved his hand to fair catch the football,
okay.
Then he took off running with the ball, so that will move him back a bit.
So Donald Stewart said he was going to stay there, and it's 22. I've never seen a guy wave fair catch on a kickoff, though.
When they pooch it in the air, you want to make sure you don't get tagged while you're looking up to catch the ball. I'd wave fair catch, too.
Donald Stewart's a running back. He should have brought that. Here's Perez. First down over the middle. Guy Liggins was wide open, and he overthrew him. And Guy Liggins would have ran that ball all the way to San Francisco. He was absolutely wide open.
Well, Guy Liggins will put a post move on Charles Dimry that will bring Dimry to his knees. Now, Perez sees the move. He's got him wide open now. All he has to do is put air underneath the football. Just get the ball up a little bit. I mean, Liggins runs for a touchdown. That's one that Perez usually will never miss. Wide open receiver, get it up, let him run underneath it.
That's the first real mistake Perez has made. He's 9 of 12, 125 yards, also running the option very well. Second and 10, he'll throw. Over the middle, he has Saxon. And Saxon has a little gain before Todd Cooks sends him down. There's Cooks, number 37, senior, out of Houston, Texas.
Saxon, number 20, will run the drag pattern, and he will run into his own coverage, and you've got linebackers sitting out there that welcome you as Cooks right in the correct spot. Boy, you don't like to see a quarterback, and I'm sure Claude Gilbert feels the same way. When you've got a wide open receiver for a touchdown and a great quarterback that simply overthrew him, you hate to see that.
San Jose State 50% on their third down conversion, facing a 13-yard pickup. Here's Saxon. He'll be short. Oh, he's still on his feet. Oh, what a run by James Saxon. I had him down because he was surrounded by white UNLV defenders. Charles Anthony finally put him down. And James Saxon just is a very tough man to tackle.
Very good screen team. Perez will do what you should do. 5 steps, hesitate, drop back, and here's Saxon. Now watch the running ability. He ducks inside. Good, quick feet. Keeps his balance, and that's just something you don't teach. Saxon is not yet ready to go down.
And as we saw him in trouble there, stumbling, he was still short of the first down yardage, kept his feet, and kept on going for a good pickup. First and 10, San Jose State. At their 42. Play action. No, they handed the ball off up the middle. And Perez faked his own out there. Nice handoff. As we look at the UNL defense. Todd Cooks. For offense, pardon me, getting some instruction on the sideline of defense. Todd Cooks made the play there. Second down and 10 coming up. Or actually a second and 7. They picked up about 3 yards on the first down.
I would guess somewhere in this drive, they might look to come right back to the play that was so very wide open. That guy Liggins man-to-man in the post for a cinch touchdown. And when you're that wide open, more times than not, you come back to it sooner or later.
They have 3 wide receivers in. Perez throws to the sideline. Donald Stewart, 45-40, 35-30, and he's down at the 22-yard line. They don't generally use Donald Stewart in their offense. They've run him once tonight earlier, and here they passed to him. His 4th catch of the year goes for 33 yards.
Got him in man-to-man coverage, and Stewart leaked out of the backfield unnoticed. You can see he is wide open. Stewart, a big, strong runner, their best blocker on the club, and he breaks a couple of tackles. UNLV is playing a guessing game defensively, and they have guessed wrong just about the entire first half. That time left Stewart out of the backfield, no linebacker coverage, and it's making it fairly easy for San Jose State.
Here's Perez handing off to Kenny Jackson. Running up the middle of the field. He's knocked down again by Todd Cooks, who has made a number of their tackles in the football game early. Todd Cooks, a very consistent linebacker. Last year started all 11 games. As we look at the Spartans and their fans here in San Jose. And we'll also look at some more scores around the country. Top 20. No Jeff Berger today, but Auburn wins their football game. Look at that. Death Valley. North Carolina State leads with a heartbeat. California goes down big. UCLA. Leadership of the Pac-10. USC lost today. Here's Mike Perez. Luck. Throws. Guy Liggins. Who else? At the 6-yard line. First down and goal there for San Jose State.
Well, we told you when Mike Perez gets in trouble, he will look to Guy Liggins. Liggins will come across the field showing the numbers, and Ken Tucker right behind him, man-to-man, simply can't stay with him. Liggins has tremendous hands.
And we're seeing San Jose State's offense in prime condition. Here's Kenny Jackson left. This is his 3rd touchdown of the game. And his most difficult. His first 2 were plunges from a yard out. This one, he knifed, he spun, and he smelled that goal line to go in from 6 yards away.
Well, they run the power toss. You'll see Donald Stewart with the kick-out block. Right there, and Autry Wren. Jackson ducks inside and gets right back out because the contain has been knocked down. And an excellent drive when it looked like UNLV had established the momentum of this game.
That Jackson's got some hips, doesn't he? Well, he just dodged 2 guys at about the 2-yard line. Oliveras, point after again. Mike Perez holding. And he blitzed it right up the middle. 28-7 UNLV.
Watch number 7 at the top of the screen. He has contained on this play, and Donald Stewart right there will knock him out. And you can see Kenny Jackson with a fine piece of running to get his 3rd touchdown of the game.
6:51 to play. They're back up by 3 touchdowns. Back to PCAA Conference Day. Our last 2 ball games kind of slow to begin. First game was slow all the way through. Pacific and Long Beach State last week, a defensive struggle early between the San Jose State Spartans and the Fresno State Bulldogs, but this game has not been. A lot of offense, a lot of good individual moments.
Well, they play racehorse basketball in this conference. We're seeing a little bit of racehorse football, at least from San Jose State. UNLV important right now. 6:51 to go in the first half, and they get some sort of drive and score.
Sergio Oliveras kicks off again. Here's Mike Reddick, his first return, 3-yard seam. Running right. 15, has a hole, 20. If he gets a block, he may go. He's pulled down, though, by Jay Taylor. Nobody gave him that block along the sideline. Taylor, a defensive back with good speed, runs down junior Mike Reddick, who will run to the huddle. He's a wide receiver for Richard Williams.
Well, I've told you about George Thomas. Mike Riddick has outstanding speed as well. Watch him pop right through untouched. And again, actually outrunning his blockers as Jay Taylor does a nice job of saving that play from going a long, long way.
And they start from the exact same spot they started last possession. They went 58 yards in 16 seconds on a pass to George Thomas. First and 10 from their 42. They run Ickey Woods right. And he is inbounds at about the 46. Greg Cox drops him down. We have 6.5 to play.
You're happy about this score.
Syracuse beats Colgate big, my alma mater. Look at Notre Dame. 26-15. Look at that, Indiana. Boy, has Bill Mallory turned that program around.
My former coach.
Georgia over Kentucky. Where'd Mallory coach you?
CU.
Did he?
Colorado University, absolutely.
Ohio State a win. Michigan State. Big Ten a tie. And the Volunteers, after losing last week to Alabama, wins by 2 scores this week. Second down. Williams under pressure. Eludes pressure. Fires. Tipped out of bounds. Greg Cox wanted the interception, but the pass was too tall for him. And Williams was ruffled up. Norman Brown supplying most of that pressure.
UNLV doing a good job up front. Contreras, Sweeney, Quinton, Oprin, and Harden. And they are giving Richard Williams a lot of time to throw the football. Actually looking for George Thomas on this play. did the smart thing before he got sacked, throw the football away. So far, 28 points in the first half. UNLV has given up 28 last week to Fullerton. That's the most points scored this year against the Rebels. So it hasn't been a very good half so far for UNLV.
Now we have a whistle. Timeout called by Richard Williams. 5:54 to play in the half. San Jose State 28, UNLV 7. With former wide receiver Dave Logan, Greg Papa, back in San Jose Spartan Stadium. And Dave likes these situations. 35, probably a pass. They have 3 wide receivers in. Lone setback is Ickey Woods. It's going to be a pass for Richard Williams. Near sideline, overthrows George Thomas, who would have had the first down. Nice coverage there by Phil Frash, a senior from Bakersfield. Williams walks off the field now 5 of 10, 93 yards. Or Wayne Nunley.
Wayne Nunley has to tell him right there, step up and throw the ball. He had George Thomas open, actually threw it before he had to. Rushed the pass, and therefore they've got to punt the football away.
Tony Rhines will punt to Scott Wells. At least we think he will. Last time he faked, didn't make the first down.
These fakes here, he's going to be in a lot of trouble, I would guess, from Wayne Nunley.
Here's a low snap. He's going to be nailed. That's no fake. He shuffles it off. And they pick up a few yards, but not enough.
Well, this is what you don't need when you're down 28-7. You don't need this any time of the game, but certainly when you're playing the best team in the conference at their house, you don't want to make mistakes on special teams. The snap is bounced back. Rhines tries to do the best that he can, sees that he's going down, tries to make something out of nothing. UNLV self-destructing in this last series, and certainly San Jose State, the way they've moved the football on offense, looks to take advantage, and 35-7 at halftime makes it real tough on the Rebels.
That was Sean McCoy, number 49, an inside linebacker that Rhines handed the ball off to. Here's Perez. Look at this play. Throws behind.
That could be a lateral.
That's a lateral, a free ball. And Jackson alertly and quickly dives back on the football. That was a free ball because Perez's pass, although it was overhead, was behind Kenny Jackson, which is a lateral.
Actually, this is an option to throw or to run the option. Now, Perez looks to the swing man, throws it behind. Kenny Jackson doesn't realize right now. Then he sees all the white jerseys and decides, hey, I better get on this. And fortunately for the Spartans, he does.
That's a 12-yard loss for San Jose State. Back split behind Perez. He'll throw on 2nd down and 22. And he will throw deep, and he has Guy Liggins open at the 17-yard line. Well, they continue to play Liggins man-on-man, Dave. How much longer can they do it? He is shredding them.
Lined up in a zone defense, and Liggins will go right down the seam. What makes this play is the nice touch and the fact that the ball is on time. When Perez lets this thing go, Liggins is just starting to clear the linebackers. See if we can see it. This ball is thrown in between 2 defenders, and Dimry and Blunt not able to get back in time.
35-yard pickup. 1st and 10 from the Rebel 18-yard line. Stewart and Jackson behind Perez. Play action. Pump fake. They're going for it all. They don't get it. Nice effort there by Kenny Roberts. Boy, that play was just beautifully executed, except Roberts could not make a very difficult catch.
Actually tried to fake the screen. Roberts ran a 2-yard hitch, then took off, and had Anthony Drawhorn beat. Perez is a bit too strong for his own good tonight. He's overthrown a couple of receivers, but has made vast improvement this week from last week. You can see his numbers right there. You can win a lot of games with those numbers if it's over the course of a game. This is the first half.
If you saw our game last week and wondered what's all this talk about the Spartans and Mike Perez, this is what they're all